Hey guys, this is Sarah Livingston from livingladydesigns.com, and we are going to be making the pearl today. This is from Swoon Patterns. This is the number 7 in the vintage collection. It's a vintage pattern and it's pretty awesome. Here it is right here, and I'm just going to show you. I'm going to pull it apart real quick, but it's got two compartments here for all kinds of your pockets. It's got a little magnetic clasp there. It's got a zipper part right here. Hold your stuff. It actually fits my iPhone. It's got a little wrist strap here, and it's just got a lot of stuff, so it's pretty awesome. I am a visual learner, so I had a little bit of trouble with this pattern just from reading the directions. So I thought I would make just a little quick video. I'm going to try to make it as quick as I can, just to kind of show you guys kind of like just a layout. So I went ahead and cut all the pieces for, this is actually all the pieces that you need for the whole entire thing. It's got the magnetic clasps here, it's got, or the snaps, the wristlet hardware, the zipper, the coordinating thread. This is my lining fabric here. This is my tulip pink, and this is the exterior fabric. I would suggest making this the first time that you use a non-directional print. I did that the very first one I made, and I had such a problem just kind of getting it situated. So non-directional print is probably better for the first couple that you do, and then from that on, obviously, it works. I would also suggest maybe some things that are, some fabrics that are really big contrast so that you can kind of see just the difference. So anyway, we'll go on to the step number 1. Okay, this is the second part of step number 1. This is fusing your stabilizers and your interfacings. I went ahead and done that on all of the pieces that are required. This is your main pouch stabilizer fused to that. This is the bifold compartment. You have your two stabilizers that are also fused to that. Then you have your main pouch card slot backing, and number 13 is up there, which is also your stabilizer. And then you also have the bifold card slot backing right here, and this is number 14 that's fused to the bottom of that. This is your snap tab, and then you've also got your stabilizer fused to that, which was number 4. And then these are your wristlet strap, and then this is your card slot backing. And I went ahead and just fused all that together. I will say, one tip that I found out the very first time I made this pearl was to go ahead and number everything, just because sometimes your pieces get mixed up or you're not really sure which number she's referring to in the direction. So I went ahead and did that, and I also, on the pattern, you'll see I wrote the numbers here just in case I accidentally lose a piece. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do next is I went ahead and done this for the core line, and I've made like a little, I guess it's a more of a sturdy pattern piece out of the clear plastic. I guess it's this right here. I'll show you. These are the chopping mats, and you can get these at the dollar store. I got 2. You get 2 of them for $1. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on these pieces because, as you can kind of see, my pieces are already kind of a little bit, I guess, getting tattered just from the 3 that I've made so far. So next, we're going to go ahead and go on to the magnetic straps. Hey guys, this is the magnetic snap portion of the pearl. So this is our bifold compartment. This is where we have already done the stabilizer. And you're going to go ahead and mark just where your 2 little dots go for your snap placement. And then here's your main pouch. Same thing, you're going to mark it right here. And then also on your snap tab, here's your mark right here. Now I use my rotary cutter. It seems to be the easiest way to cut this for me. So I go ahead and just take one piece, it doesn't matter, and go right over the top and just kind of make some little indentations. And then I go ahead with my rotary cutter and then just go ahead and do a little cut, and there you go. And so on this, the biggest thing you need to pay attention to, also one little tip is I always do it on the back side just so that it's easier to see the marks and all that kind of stuff. So here's our male magnetic snap part. So this is the male piece. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it over. I'm going to go ahead and put these pieces in and go ahead and close that guy up, and right here, so there's that one. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the female part in on the bottom section right like that. And these magnetic snaps you can get like anywhere. I order mine wholesale just because I make a lot of these things, a lot of different bags. So there's that piece right here. So here you go, and then this piece right here is your main pouch. So you're going to go ahead and find your holes and go ahead and put this piece in. This is your female part. So you're going to go ahead and put that snap in there. There's that piece, and then this right here is your last one, and this is your snap tab. So you're just going to go ahead and put that in there like that. And there you go, you're all set. And these are all of your snaps. Okay, so this is the card slot panel portion. I went ahead and marked my sections, but this is the, like I said before, I decided to do just a solid color just because it matched my fabric, and then that way it would just look a little different. So you're going to mark at 4.25, which is my mark here and there, and then at 11, which is actually plus 6.75, and then you're going to mark at 17.75, and then you're going to mark at 24.5, and then you're going to go all the way to the end and measure in 2 inches. So these are all your marks, and these are going to be your card slots. So you're going to go ahead and flip this over, and then what you're going to do is you're going to fold it right to that mark, and then you're going to press it. And I'm going to go ahead and press all these. You're going to press each section, so you're going to press here, and then you're going to come right to where this one is and press that one. And you're going to go all the way down to, you're going to wait and not do the end part. And I'm going to go ahead and press that, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, we're back, and I went ahead and pressed each section at the mark. So then what you're going to do is, after you press each section, you're going to turn it over, and you're going to go ahead and fold it here, and you're going to top stitch just barely along this edge, and then you're going to go ahead and top stitch just barely on that edge. You do not want to fold these up on each other because that'll mess up your whole card slot. So then you're going to go ahead and top stitch right here, and then your last one is right here. And so you're going to have top stitches on all of those. And then I'll go ahead and show you at the next step what that looks like and how to pin it together. Okay, so I've went ahead and top stitched on each section. And a little tip too with this is a very thin fabric, and so I had a little bit of problems with the top stitching on this, so I went ahead and switched to a lightweight needle, and it helped tremendously on the finished product. So if your fabric's a little bit lighter on this step only, then you might want to switch to a lighter weight needle. That's probably something you guys already know, but just for those of you who maybe are new. So the next part is you're going to go ahead and move this section up, and you're going to pin it at about 70, it's 0.75, I think it is. So I'm going to go ahead, this is the easiest way I figured to do this. I go ahead and take my little hem ruler is what I call it, but and then I go ahead and just make sure. I am a major perfectionist too, so it's going to be right exact. So then you're going to go ahead and just pin it right here, and then you're going to go ahead and just do it all the way up at 75 for the rest of the way for each other one. So here we go, this one. And I'm doing this upside down, so it is a little bit trickier for me to kind of figure out. So just so that I could do the video a little bit easier. So I'm going to go ahead and pin this one. And Alicia also provides with her pattern this really cool guide. So once you have it all done, then you just kind of put this guide up along your pattern, or I'm sorry, your card slot, and just kind of show that, just to make sure that all the pieces are exact. So here I am getting to the almost last one. Here we go. Oops. And I'm trying to make this as short as I can, guys, because I know sometimes these videos are so boring. I'm trying not to make it boring either, but and what I usually do too, because I like to press things, once I'm finished with this section, then I will usually go ahead and press, just because it seems to be easier. Now you're going to go ahead and put this all the way up to that 2-inch mark that you did before, and I'm going to go ahead and pin, but I'm going to go ahead and press this once I'm done. Be careful of your pins, just kind of press in the middle, because if you press your pins, then you might melt the top of the pin heads, and it would get all of your fabric and ruin it. So there's that, and I'm going to go ahead, and here's our guide that Alicia provides when you do this card slot. So I'm going to go ahead and put this here, and mine lines up pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and say that that is a success, and I'm going to go ahead and press it, and then I'll be right back to show you the next part. Okay, so I know these are two different sizes, and I'll explain that in 1 second. I went ahead and did a couple steps together just because then I wouldn't have to stop and start and do all these things on the video. So I went ahead and base stitched after I went and folded all the card panels and pinned them all up together. I went ahead and base stitched right here, and then I also base stitched here. Now, the next part is to go ahead and mark 3 inches in from the center, so I use my ruler. Mark 3 inches in, mark it with a pen, and then I went ahead and base stitched on this side as well as on that side. And then I went ahead and used my rotary cutter and cut straight down the center, so then you have 2 pieces. And then the directions also say to go ahead and cut one of the panels at 8 inches and then to leave the other one at 8.5. So this one right here is 8 inches, so I'm going to go ahead and remark this one. This one is now card slot panel number 9. This is the trimmed one, so this is number 9, so I'm going to go ahead and mark that on my bottom of my piece. And then I'm going to go ahead and mark this as number 10. And so then I have the 2 pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and put number 10 aside, and I'm going to go ahead and work with number 9. So the directions say to go ahead and put your panel, and I'm doing this upside down, so I got to remember to do this the right way. So I do it this way right here. So you're going to have your panels facing to the right. So then I'm going to go ahead and take my piece, which is number 5, and this is your bifold card piece. Go ahead and put that right there on that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and stitch along this edge right here, and then I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so we're back. I've went ahead and stitched right here. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to press. Now, this is a very important step. When she says press, press it. Make sure that you have pulled this fabric as far as you can over and go ahead and press it. Press, 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 press. Then I'm going to go ahead and top stitch along here, but for demonstration purposes I'm going to wait. And then I'm going to go ahead and put, this is your piece number 11, which I've got marked down here. You're going to go ahead and put it on the top edge of your card slot panel, which is number 9. You're going to go ahead and sew it just like I did on the other piece. So right here, flip it over, press, 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 and then go ahead and top stitch. Okay, so I've went ahead and top stitched here, and I've also top stitched here. So then what the directions say is to wrap the backing past the stabilizer against the wrong side of the pleated card slot panel and match the long raw edge of the backing with the long raw edge of the card slot trim. So basically that means this right here. Going to go ahead and fold it back so that your edges meet here. Now, just a little side tip right here. I made a little miscalculation right here, so mine does not meet all the way. Yours should. It should be all the way. It should be one solid. It should be like your green should be all the way to the edge. So you're going to go ahead and do this, and then you're going to go ahead and top stitch, or I'm sorry, baste just right along here at about 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so this part is done. This is card slot 9. You're all done with this one for right now. So you're going to go ahead and put that aside, and now I'm going to bring in the next panel. So this one says to go ahead and repeat to sew the trim 6 and backing 12 to the main pouch card slot panel. This was super confusing for me, I think because I jumped ahead. So what I've went ahead and done is I have number 10, number 12, and this is number 6. So you're basically going to do the exact same thing. You're going to reverse the direction though. It says with the main pouch card slot panel right side up and with the pleats opening to the left, lay the main pouch card slot trim right side down. So you're going to go ahead, and I'm doing this upside down, so sorry I keep getting a little confused. You're going to go ahead, same thing you did before, stitch here, flip it over, press, top stitch, and then you're going to go ahead and do this, stitch it, flip it over, top stitch, and then you're going to also do the exact same thing you did before, flip it all underneath, and then you're going to end up with this right here with a different panel. It's going to look just like this. You're going to baste it right along here. And when I get this all done, I'm going to show you what all this looks like. Okay, so after I've top stitched here, and I went ahead and basted on here, then I've completed my card slot panel number 10. So I have number 10, and I'm going to go ahead and show you. Here's number 9. They look the same, but one side is smaller. Okay, so this is where I got confused, and it seems like a lot of people are getting confused just at this step right here. So what you're going to do is you're going to go back to your number 9, which is the smaller piece. I'm going to go ahead and put number 10 aside so I don't get confused. Then I'm going to grab my lining bifold compartment, which is number 7, which is what I've labeled right here on the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and put it up here, and then what I'm going to go ahead and do is put the panel right up against this edge right here. the top. Can't see it from there, but this is the fatter side. So you want to make sure this is the fatter side, okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and just clip my wonder clips on here. But this, right where I'm going to put my wonder clips at, this is where you're going to go ahead and sew around for your next step. You're going to sew at, I think it's 1/4 of an inch. So we're going to go right here, 1/4 of an inch. And I'm reading the directions off my computer too, just so that I can make sure that I'm saying everything correctly and reading the directions word for word like you guys would be doing. So you're going to go ahead and sew. You're going to sew right along here and along here at 1/4 of an inch. Now, you're going to go ahead at the end of this step and you're going to clip. These are the rounded corners here. So you're going to go ahead and clip your panel piece right here, your card slot panel, just so that it mimics that. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put that aside, and I'm going to go on to the next part. Okay, now we're going to work on our main pouch card slot panel, and this is our last one. This is card slot panel number 10. So this is one we just finished. We're going to grab our exterior main pouch with snap, which is our number 1. So we have this right here. There's our snap. You're going to go ahead and take your fabric, your card slot panel, and you're going to go ahead and put it right here at the edge. And you're going to go ahead and sew along the edge. I'm going to wonder clip it just like I did the last time, just so you guys can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and wonder clip. These wonder clips are great. I had never even heard of them until I started swooning, and somebody mentioned them, and they work great. I haven't gotten into the big heavy bags yet, but they work great for any little thing really. But here we go. So you're going to, once I get all of this clipped, you're going to go ahead and sew right around where the wonder clips are. So you're going to go ahead and sew right here, all the way around, just like you did on the last step. And that's 1/4 of an inch away. And then when you're finished, you're going to go ahead and flip it over, and you're also going to trim right around the edges here. And it's really important that you do trim the edges, because when you flip it, you want to make sure that your edges are going to be nice and round. If you don't, then it's going to be kind of wonky and it won't look right. So there we go. Okay, so we're going to go on to step number 4, which is making your bifold compartment. Now, I made a little boo-boo, which is right here. I started trimming, and you're not supposed to do that, so do not trim there. What I'm going to do is use the lining bifold compartment panel number 7, and then this is my exterior bifold compartment number 7. This is the one with the snaps. You're going to make sure that your female part is up against your card slots. So I'm going to put this right over here, and I'm going to go ahead and start pinning around. A tip that I do is I go ahead and start with green, because green means go, and then you're just going to pin, and I'm just going to do like just a few quick pins around, but you'll pin this obviously better around here. But I'm just going to pin all the way around. And then you're going to come almost all the way, basically around just the last curve right here. And I'm going to go ahead and stop there. So I know I'm going to start here on green. I'm going to go all the way around, and I'm going to stop here on red. And this is about 6 inches, and you'll need that 6 inches when you turn your fabric. So you're going to sew along the edges. Then what you're going to do is you're going to trim down to 1/4 of a seam allowance, only where you've sewn right here around the edges. Do not trim right here. And then you're going to go ahead and flip it all right side out, and then you're going to press. And make sure when you do press that you're tucking in your ends. And I'll show you that stuff in just a second. Okay, this is my completed bifold compartment. When the last time I left off, I showed you I had pinned all around the edges here, so you're going to go ahead and sew all around right here. You're going to leave your opening right here, 6 inches. Then you're going to go ahead and trim all around the edges. You're not going to trim right here, remember. And then you're going to go ahead and flip it right side out. You're going to press it really well. Make sure you get your corners really good and rounded. And then you're going to go ahead and top stitch the whole thing. And I don't know if you can see right here, but this is where my opening was. So once you top stitch it, you're never going to be able to see it. So this is what it looks like when it's completed and it's top stitched. So you're all set with that. Now we're going to move on to step number 5, which is your tabs. Now this is your snap tab. This is going to be on the top of your bifold. So this is the magnetic snap part. You're going to go ahead and put them together like this, and you're going to pin it. I'm going to use my wonder clips because that's just easier for the video. So here we go, clip, and you're going to clip right here. You're going to clip there, and here, and here. All you're going to do is you're going to sew around the 3 sides. 1, 2, 3. You're not going to sew right here. You're going to leave that open. So once you've gone ahead and sewn right around here, you're going to do at a half seam allowance on this. You're going to go ahead and flip it right side out, just like you did with your bifold compartment. Make sure you poke those corners really, really well. And then you're going to go ahead and top stitch just along these 3 sides. And I'm going to show you how to put the next part together in just a second. Okay, so I've went ahead and done my snap tab. It's complete. I went ahead and sewed around the edges, trimmed around 1/4 of an inch, and then flipped it inside out, pressed it, and then I've top stitched. So that's what it's going to look like. This is your panel right here, your exterior main pouch panel with your card slots. And you're gonna go ahead and line this up right here on the bottom. And here's a little trick. This line right here from the card slot is basically dead center from where you want your snap tab to be, in the center. I don't know if you guys can see that, but so that's what I use as my guide. So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that's lined up and lined up down here, and I'm gonna wonder clip it again. Normally, actually when I do sew this, I'm gonna go ahead and pin it, but just for the sake of the video, I'm gonna go ahead and just wonder clip it so you guys can see. It's faster. So you're gonna go ahead and do that. You're just gonna basically do 1 little teeny stitch along the bottom, and that is about, I think it's 1/4 of a seam allowance. So you're just going to catch that bottom edge, basically right where, I don't know if you guys can see, but there's already a stitch there. So you just want to catch that edge. So once that's complete, then we're going to go on to the wristlet strap, which is step number 6. So you've got your wristlet strap, you've got your interfacing on the back. What you're going to do, this is basically like making bias tape. So you're going to go ahead and fold it right here in the center, press it. Then you're going to unfold it. You're going to fold the little sides in halfway here and halfway here, so it makes that. You're going to go ahead and press it again, and then you're going to fold it over, press it again. So here's your wristlet strap. Now what you're going to do to finish this is you're going to go along this edge right here about 1/8 of an inch, top stitch, and then the same thing on this side, 1/8 of an inch. So once that's top stitched, then you're all set, and you're going to basically cut off 2 inches off the end, and that's going to get connected to your main pouch, which is going to be your wristlet strap, where it connects to the actual bag. And I'm going to show you that step as soon as I finish this. Okay, so after I've top stitched, or actually stitched this on, then that's what it should look like. Don't forget your magnetic snap needs to be facing here. So that's complete. Now we're gonna go ahead. This is what I went ahead and top stitched here and there to finish this strap. Went ahead and cut off the 2 inches. So there's my 2 inches. Gonna put that aside for a second. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take your other exterior piece. This is the last of your exterior pieces. It shouldn't have anything on it. It's completely plain. This was piece number 2. Actually, I'm sorry, no, this was piece number 1, and the stabilizer was number 2. You're going to go ahead and take your connector, which is right here, and I look to see which is my best side of top stitch, because that's going to show. And then I slide that on there. So you've got this right here now. Fold it in. And the directions say to do 1.5 inches. So I've got my little ruler here, and I'm going to measure down. I'm going to put it right there. I like to do a little bit of an overhang just in case, just so it's easier. Again, I would normally pin this. I'm just wonder clipping it so you guys can see. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to do a little stitch about 1/4 of an inch in. I like to double stitch that because this is going to be your wrist strap and you don't want this to come off. So there's that. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and attach our swivel clip to our wristlet strap. So I like to find the best top stitch I did, and so this side looks better. So you're going to go ahead and put your swivel clip up right side facing where your top stitch is. So you're going to go ahead and bring it over like this, and you're going to go ahead and sew. I'm going to wonder clip it right here, 1/4 of an inch down the side, right here, just along the edge. And then when you're finished, I always double stitch this part just because I don't want it to come apart. So that stitch there. And then once that's stitched, then you're going to flip it inside out, so you can see right here. And then this is going to have like a little, you're going to put your zipper, I'm sorry, your wristlet swivel clip right inside here, and then you're going to double stitch on the outside there, and then it'll be finished. And I'll show you what this looks like in the next step. But for the sake of the video, I'm going to go ahead and go onto the zippered pouch. So here's my zipper. This is a 9-inch zipper. It's really a little bit bigger than what you need, but it's because you're going to cut some of it off. So here's my pins, here's my ruler, all my stuff. You have your two little zipper tabs, and the directions say to go ahead and fold in a half of an inch. And so I went ahead and did that and press it. So there's one, and here's my other one. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and attach it to the bottom of your zipper. Now you do want to make sure that you're not going over this with your needle. You mess up your needle and your foot and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to go ahead and pin it right here. And I'm going to pin it because the Wonder Clips don't really work at this point. Even for demonstration purposes, they just don't stick. So I'm going to pin here and here. So that's good. Now, what I'm going to go ahead and do, because I'm on the video, I'm not going to, but you're going to stitch right along here about 1/4 of an inch, okay? So then you're set. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and measure 6.5 inches, down from that point. So it is about to here. I don't know if you guys can see. So it's about right there. So what I'm going to do, because this part can get a little tricky because you do have to pull the zipper back through, I'm going to go ahead and pin one side just because it seems to be easier for me and when I've done this before. Because you want to make sure that your zipper stays even. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that back. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that it's 6.5 inches again. You do need to make sure that this is 6.5 inches because of how the bag is made. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that down. You want to make sure your zipper is together because if you don't, then when you sew it, it's not going to be right. So I'm going to go ahead and put a pin in here. So there you go. You got your two pieces. Now, because I like to measure and measure and measure and make sure that I'm right, I'm going to go ahead and look. Yep, 6.5 inches still. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch along there at 1/4 of an inch as well. And then when you have stitched both sides, you're going to go ahead and remove your pins, and then actually you're going to remove those when you sew. Then you're going to go ahead and cut off so that your zipper basically matches this right here. And you should have this, I think it's about 8 inches or something like that. So then we're going to go on to the next step. Okay, so here we have our zipper, and here you can see I've sewn here at 1/4 of an inch, and I've sewn here at 1/4 of an inch. So your zipper is, the total length should be 8.5 inches. I was sorry, I said 8 inches earlier, but it's actually 8.5 inches. So here we go, 8.5 inches. So the next part is we're going to attach our zipper to our exterior main pouch panel with our card slots. So that's this panel right here with our snap. You're going to go ahead and you're going to flip this over, and you're going to go ahead and match up the long edges right here. Now if your zipper is a little bit longer, which mine is, than the actual fabric, just kind of center it up. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pin it. I'm wonder clipping again, just for the sake of this video. I am going to tell you too, pinning is super, super important. No matter how many bags and how many years you've sewn, pinning is super duper important because you can get off just a little teeny bit and it can mess up everything. And if you are pulling your, if you've got it all pinned and you're pulling your pins out as you go too, you know that you can do one little step wrong and it messes up the whole bag. So pinning and pressing are super important. So there we go. We've wonder clipped this right here. So you're going to go ahead and sew at 1/4 of a seam allowance, 1/4 inch seam allowance right here along the top where my wonder clips are. And then you're going to flip it over, and what I would suggest to do is press this inside part. I like to press between each step if I can. Just makes things a lot easier in the long run. Okay, so I went ahead and attached my zipper to my main pouch. So there's my zipper line right there. So it should look like this if you fold it over, and I went ahead and pressed that just because. And I'm doing this kind of fast, so my stitching is not exactly straight, but this is for me anyway. This is a bag that I'm actually making for myself. So then we've got that. So now we're going to go ahead and attach our lining pieces. So we're going to grab one of our lining pieces here. I chose to do the polka dot, and you're going to go ahead and put it right on top of the other piece. You're going to make sure that your zipper lines up on the edge right here. I'm going to wonder clip it again, and I'm doing the wonder clips upside down because I'm going to actually stitch on the other side. So you would pin it the other direction. So your pins would be in the other way. So here's that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to flip it over. And you can see right here, right here where there's a stitch mark right here, a line. And you're going to go ahead and stitch right over that same exact line, and that's going to attach your lining. So once you've done that stitching, then you're going to go ahead and pull this, and you're going to also press this. So you're going to press this side and then this side. So you're going to have basically one half of your zipper is going to be attached. And we're going to attach the other side basically the same way, but I'm going to go ahead and show you step by step that as well. Okay, so right here I went ahead and stitched right along that edge right there. I don't know if you can see that from the angle. So then that leaves us, that's got both of our main piece and our lining piece. I went ahead and pressed that. So this is what we're going to end up with. Okay, so we now have a lining piece and an exterior piece. So you're going to take your last exterior piece, and here's a little tip too. If you would like to add a tag to your bag right now, I add a tag to all my bags just so that everyone can see that I made them. This is the time to do it. Now, this is going to be the back of your wristlet. So you want to go ahead and do your tag so it's flipped the other way. So when you look at your bag, it's going to be like this. So I went ahead and added that. And you're going to put this right on top of your zipper, just like you did before. You're going to line it up. Sorry, I'm doing this upside down. You're going to go ahead and line it up. You're going to wonder clip it, just like you did before. And in the directions, this got a little confusing to me. I actually had to seam rip it and put it back together because I was not understanding what Alicia was saying. But you're basically repeating the steps. So you want to make sure that you are sewing your lining in the same order that you do your exterior. So you're going to do that. And you're going to go ahead and stitch right along that edge. Okay. So I went ahead and stitched right along this edge right here where I had pinned it. And so you're going to end up with, you're going to flip it over. So you're going to put your lining pieces, basically your right sides are going to go together because this is going to be the inside of your zipper. So you're going to go ahead and line up right up here on the top. Wonder clipping again. I would pin it. Again, pinning is really, really important. And especially on these steps when you have so many layers, because if you get off just a teeny tiny bit, it's going to mess up your whole bag and it's going to make it look like a funny thing. So flip it over. Going to go ahead and sew right along that edge right there, and I will show you what to do next, and you're almost done. Okay, so I've went ahead and stitched right along this edge right here. So this is going to make your final exterior and your lining. So you're going to end up with this right here. Remember, you're gonna go ahead and press. And if you're gonna press, this is the time to press. This is the last time you're gonna get to press while everything is still apart. So now what you're gonna do is you're going to line up your lining pieces as well as your exterior pieces. And this is basically the last step. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and take your lining pieces, and what you want to do is you want to make sure that your tab, your zipper tab parts are folded inside towards the lining. So you're going to go like this. I don't know if you guys can see that right there, but you want to make sure that this is like this, because otherwise when you sew it, I'll show you, it's easier to see on the other side, but when you sew it, and if this isn't right, then you're going to have a big bulge. So you want it to be this big right here. So hope you guys can see that, because this was super tricky for me. I did not understand it. I had to seam rip this step because I didn't get it. So I'm going to go ahead and wonder clip because that's what my wonder clips are for today. Go ahead and just wonder clip. You want to make sure you're lining up all your edges. Mine are not. There we go. Okay, I'm going to make sure that's lined up better. Now I went ahead earlier and trimmed my edges, and I probably should not have done that, just because it would have been a lot easier to line up had I not done my edges, but there we go. And when you're stitching at this next point, it's basically going to be around right here. So all of this edging right here is going to be completely covered up. So you're not going to see it anyway. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I have this done correctly as well. Sorry, I'm doing this upside down and I'm trying to make sure it's in the camera shot as well. Again, pinning, especially at this point, is super duper important. I cannot stress enough how important pinning is at this point, especially. I'm, of course, using Wonder Clips just because that's what I need to for this particular video. You're going to go ahead and Wonder Clip, or pin, sorry, all the way around to about 7 inches wide at the bottom. That's kind of like what we did before, because you need to have a hole when you turn. So anyone in the lining, because you're not going to see the lining as much. I'm going to go ahead, because this is what I like to do, green for go. So I'm going to start here on this edge, and then red for stop. And I'm just putting the pins just because I would normally have pinned this whole entire thing. So you're going to start here. You're going to do a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So all the way around here. Be careful when you get to here that you're laying this flat so it doesn't pull up when you're sewing. So go ahead and sew across here and here. Same thing right down here, and then all the way to the edge here. When you have completed that sewing right here, then you're going to go ahead and trim into a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I use my pinking shears. They're the best. I love them because it does have this edge right here. And sometimes I can't get my pinking shears through when I use my scissors, but it'll all just depend. But it's super important too at this point, any of your little edges that you have off, you need to go ahead and make sure that you've cut them off, because you want your seam allowance to be as small as it can so that when you turn it, it's not lumpy and bumpy. So once you've done the sewing, then you're going to go ahead and flip it so it's right side out, and then you're going to go ahead and press, taking the time also again to go ahead and fold this under, and then you're going to go ahead and top stitch all along the edge. And that will be the last step in your purl. And I'll go ahead and show you once I do this last step right here what it will look like all together. Okay, I went ahead and stitched all around the edges, and I've turned it. This is what it looks like when you turn it. And I went ahead and folded my edges down. This was my gap here, and then I went ahead and stitched. For me, I just stitched from one end to the other. That way I catch all the edge and I don't have to worry about it coming undone. So then what you're going to do, this is your liner right here. You're going to just tuck it inside, just like that. You're going to zip it up, and there is your inside piece, or your part of your purl. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. Oops. And my snap is in the back right here, so I'm going to go ahead and attach that, tuck it down in, and put this on the side. There you go. There she is. And here is my strap from before. Remember how I told you, you go ahead and sew it on the inside, and then you flip it inside out, and then you just sew right along the edge. I don't know if you can see that, but that's what it looks like. And you clip it on, and there you go. There's my purl. That's what it looks like on the back. And here on the front, and you know, just like before, it looks like the pictures. Got all your slots. Mine are all facing the right direction. Hooray. And you're all set. If you guys have any questions, I guess you can ask either myself or anybody in the Swoon group. Thank you very much for joining me.